Hello guys, in this video we are going to do some work on this Lenovo ThinkPad T440. It's in a pretty good shape. This came without a charger, so I needed to buy a separate charger for it. It has this new style. It looks like a USB, but it's not a USB. You can convert old Lenovo chargers into this thing. There is a converter about this long. You plug in your round charger in it and you get this in the end. But I wanted to buy this original one. And yeah, I'm going to show you how to possibly upgrade this thing if you need to. I'm going to put Windows 8 on it and then upgrade it to Windows 10. And that is it for this video. So let's get to it. Okay, to upgrade this thing, firstly remove the battery. This might seem pretty obvious, but please believe me, lots of times I forget about it. This has a really thin battery, so I have no idea how the battery life will be, because this seems really light, but could still be good. We need a Phillips screwdriver, undo some screws, although this is pretty weird. Let me just look at it for a little bit. Okay, this seems a bit weird. It seems that this is not going to come off easily. This thing doesn't have a cover like most Lenovos do that slides out or pops out. This thing actually needs to be opened in another way. So let me investigate. Some investigating reveals that you still need to remove this cover, but it's a bit weird because it's actually even on the edges of the laptop. So yeah, not really used to this on Lenovos, but hey, that's the way it is this time. Okay, all screws seem to be finished. Yeah, let's try and take this thing out. Yeah, and it's coming out, weirdly enough, quite easily. Maybe this was opened by somebody before, or maybe this is the way it's meant to come out. Because sometimes when you have lots of screws, there are not so many clips. So yeah, could be the way this thing is made. Okay, we seem to be stuck here a little bit. Let me turn this around and see what doesn't want to come out. A bit of plastic here. So that's not my doing. As you could see, I didn't pull hard on this thing. Okay, so somebody opened this thing up. Maybe you can see here. I will show you better when this thing is opened. somebody forced this thing open sometime in the past. Okay, there are some clips in this area. Make sure they are open, and let me just show you what they did. You can see it is broken here and here. So yeah, somebody didn't know how to open this thing and they forced it. I'm going to try and find where this piece of plastic is from and glue it back. All the screws seem to be the captive type, so they will not fall out when you undo them, so you can turn this around and put it where you want. This seems to be some sort of plastic, most likely. Not really sure about this. I don't see where the material. Okay, PA with 50% glass fiber. Okay, that's good. Let me put that aside, and here we have the opened up laptop, and I'm thinking this is another battery. Sure as hell looks like another battery. So we actually have the main one here, and we have another one here. Let me take a better look. Yep, we have two batteries on this thing. That is weird, because usually when you have the built-in battery you don't have this one. But maybe you can replace this with a bigger one, so you have a built-in plus a huge one, or plus a standard one. Not sure, but it's weird. Please believe me, it is weird. So okay, having this thing opened up, I will also make a quick video where I compare this to a Lenovo 440p. This is just 440 and the other one will be 440p. So be back in a moment. Let's continue. To upgrade the memory, make sure you discharge your cell phone onto some metal. Then push on the clips a little bit down and outside, and slowly take out the memory. 4 GB in this case. Let me just show you the specs. You can replace this with 8 GB from what I know. Not sure about more than that. Okay, to put it in, just slide it and push it down. That's it. This doesn't give you lots of upgrade possibilities, I can tell you that from now. CPU soldered, only one RAM slot. You can add the 3G modem here, change the Wi-Fi if needed, but yeah, that's about it. You can obviously change the hard drive, so let me show you how I do that. It has one screw at the end here. Undo that screw, take it out, lift the hard drive, although this connector isn't really made for lifting, but weirdly enough, maybe it's a modified version that actually allows it to be lifted. You have the hard drive out, and the little plastic caddy just comes out of the holes like this, and hard drive is out. It's a slim hard drive in this case. Okay, let's put it back. Okay, put it in position, slide it in and put it down. And then put back the screw. I was expecting it to go more than this, but it is tight. So that is a bit weird. Okay, with a battery like this, if you want to be on 100% sure that you don't have any problems, you can actually unplug it from here before doing any of the work that I already did. But from experience I know that it's not that easy to damage a laptop by leaving it connected to the battery. But to be safe, unplug it. I didn't. Maybe it won't start now. We'll see. Okay, the little piece falling off. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to try and search where it is from. In all honesty, it was impossible to find where that little piece is coming from. So it's going to be put back together without it. Do not ever leave little pieces like that inside the case, because they have a coating on them to prevent EMF, from what I know, and that coating is actually conductive. So if you leave it in, you might short circuit something. So that's a no-no. If you have a little piece rattling around your inside your laptop, you should open it up and get rid of it, or glue it in place if you find where it's missing from. Okay, putting this thing back together. It's 100% the reverse of what we first did. You must try and tighten the screws in some sort of cross pattern, random pattern, whatever, but not one by one by one by one. Not in a line. Okay, that's about it. Putting the battery back in, and this thing should be good to go. So let me get to the charger and power it on. Okay, not really sure what's happening. When I turn on the power, this thing flashes about 3 times with the green light, and then it does nothing else. So I'm going to try and power it on and see what we get. F1 to enter BIOS, and we are inside the BIOS. So the battery might be charged, or it could be actually working. So don't know what to tell you about it at the moment. We will see when we install Windows. Okay, these are the specs. i3 4030U, 1.9 GHz, 4 GB of RAM, and the hard drive, most likely we will see it in the boot list. This is it, but it has a really weird name. You cannot see the size of it from that, but it's a 500 gigs hard drive. So I'm going to set up the BIOS the way I like it, and then put a Windows 8 clone onto this thing. Okay, settings are finished. This is where I have my bootable drive with all Windows versions clones on them. Okay, insert the drive, exit saving changes, yes. I will also clean this after I'm sure that everything is working. Press enter. This thing already went to boot from my drive. It's really quick to boot from USB drives. Okay, so press enter again to pause. At F12 to choose a temporary startup device. Where is F12? That is F12, and we go to the USB. Ta-da, and we are in. And this Yummy is what I use to make bootable CDs. So I'm going to boot into drive cloning software, and I'm going to copy that clone to this hard drive, and then start Windows 8. Windows 8 starting for the first time. It will start to install all the drivers that it needs, and that will most likely take a while. We are booted into Windows 8.1 Pro. Let's see how many drivers this thing installed. As you can see, this is cloned from a Del Vostro. Windows is not activated. On Windows 8, you only click activate if it's cloned from another computer, and it will get the key from the BIOS, and this is all that you get. So you do not need to change the key by hand. Oh, I hate this. I don't know how to close this. I need to drag it down, but it just will not drag it. Anyway, let's close this and open it once again, and it should say activated. Ta-da! Device manager. Let's see how many drivers we are missing. Not a lot of them. Something's wrong here somewhere. Yeah. I could start and update the drivers, but on the last few laptops that I've worked on, Windows 10 found the drivers perfectly by itself. So I'm going to go directly to Windows 10 upgrade and let it deal with the drivers. Okay, you come to this link. I will put it in the description, obviously. Click on upgrade now, it will download the file. I move it to the desktop. You do not need to move it, I just like to move it, so I remember how to delete it at the end. Double click it. Yes. Accept. All checks OK. And now it's downloading, and it will start the update or upgrade, how you want to call it, by itself. And when it finishes all it can do from the Windows environment, Windows 8.1 Pro in this case, it will give you a message for about 30 minutes. You can restart now if you want, or I will restart by myself. So if you go past your computer, click on restart now, you will save 30 minutes or whatever. And then it will go to the process outside Windows environment, and then you are greeted with Windows 10 startup settings. And that's about it. And the battery seems to be charging. We have 36% plugged in charging. So I have no idea why that wasn't showing the charge. So, but who cares? It's working. So I'll be back when something interesting happens here. So this is ready to restart, but I just wanted to show you something. Tiny bit of an error. It seems this hard drive is only 320 gigabytes in size. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem, but I will contact the guys that I always buy from. They always sort stuff like this out, so no worry for me. But just wanted to tell you that it seems it's not 500 gigs as it was written on it. Okay, ignore this, it will sign you out, and we'll continue the install. The setup process is finished. Forgot to change the user to reflect this new laptop, but I will change it directly in Windows 10, no problems there. Quickly do some settings the way I like them. Accept. And Windows 10 will still do some stuff, some installing. As you can see, Windows 10 installed all drivers, so that is perfect. But weirdly enough, it says something about touch support. For a second I thought this thing is a touchscreen, because there are touchscreen models of this thing from what I know. But it may be talking about the trackpad. Yeah, that was a weird moment. Windows is activated, as you can see. Let me show you the CPU info. Also the GPU info, although it's integrated Intel GPU, so nothing too interesting there. Okay, this is the GPU info. Again, nothing interesting here. So this is the CPU. Let's see the motherboard info. Let me try and zoom on it a bit better. Okay, this is the motherboard, this is the memory info. Obviously only one slot. GPU, and let's give this a quick bench just to see what kind of speed it gets, and it seems that 1.9 is the maximum frequency that this thing will get. 1.9 gigahertz. So yeah, that's not a lot, but it's good enough for web browsing and light stuff like this. So let's close it. As you can see, everything else is finished. Let me just quickly check if Windows is still doing stuff in the background. The batteries are still charging. For a second I thought that they were not charging, they were stuck at 36%. I unplugged the charger, plug it back in, and then they started charging, but they are not finished yet. It's weird talking about batteries because it has an integrated one and an external one, but hey, that's what Lenovo decided to do with this thing. This is memory usage, hard disk, so Windows finished everything. It's not doing anything now. And yeah, that's about it. Let's give this thing a good clean at this point. But just before the clean, I remembered something else. This thing has an illuminated keyboard, which I really like. So let's clean it now. The laptop is 100% clean now. I also cleaned the charger. It had a huge yellow sticker on it that was quite annoying. On battery it seems to be saying over 7.5 hours, 96% at this point. I poked around a little bit just to make it process stuff. Could be way less than this if it does intensive tasks, but seems to be decent. So yeah, let me show you the cover, looking good. And yeah, that's about it for this little guy. Quite nice laptop, I must say. Pretty slim, not really light, but well built, and yeah, that's about it. I like it. So thanks for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe, check out my other videos, and see you in the next one. Bye.